is Trisha and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I put together this really sweet Halloween wreath. She's ready to party, you guys, so let's get to crafting. Okay, so I'm starting off with this 14-inch diameter wreath ring. This is from the Dollar Tree. Most of my items are from the Dollar Tree, and if they're not, I will let you know where they're from. Otherwise, they are from the Dollar Tree. I grabbed this 18-inch plastic skeleton. I like it because the arms and the legs are, you know, they can turn, and I'm hoping that I can pose it in a certain way. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna take this ring here and I'm gonna wrap it with some ribbon. All right, so I've got a couple of ribbons here. I've got mesh here. This is a deco mesh. I think I got this roll. This was probably a larger roll than this because it's really thick, and I believe I got this from Hobby Lobby either last year or the year before. But you can find rolls like this from the Dollar Tree. They have different colors you can choose from. This I did grab from the Dollar Tree, this Crafter Square ribbon. It has a sheer look to it. I first wanted to wrap this ribbon around my wire form here, but it's very see-through, so you'll see the little bits of rings here. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one to wrap around first, and I've kind of already tried it out a little bit, so it's working. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold it over itself just a little bit because I want it to be kind of almost like a double just double the ribbon, so it helps to hide the wire rings. So I'm just going to bring this back through here. Let me put this underneath here because I'm going to be using hot glue. This is just a little silicone mat for my hot glue gun. And then I'm just going to pour some glue on there so that I can go ahead and bring down the mesh like so onto itself. I have to grab this little silicone finger protection here. So I'm going to push that down. And I'm not going to worry about it looking messy right now because it's going to get covered with more ribbon and then some other items that I'm going to put on here. Okay, so now that I have it like that, of course, I want it to stick. So I'm trying to stick the ends that I just rolled underneath here to this part here. So that's what we want to do. Okay, that's good. We're going to go ahead and start bringing this around. I don't have to keep gluing it. I just want to make sure that the first end got glued down. And then I'm just going to bring this around, folding it. It doesn't have to be perfectly folded on top of the other. It could be all wrinkled. I don't mind that. And we're just going to continue rolling it and wrapping around the whole frame here, this whole wire form. Okay. Just like that. It's already covering the wire there a little bit. So once we put the other ribbon, it'll have a better coverage. So let's move that aside. Okay, we're just going to keep doing that. Now you can use a burlap ribbon or a satin ribbon, or you know, just like scraps of fabric that you can cut in strips to cover this first if you want to use this method that I'm doing. There we go. I'm just going to continue doing this all the way around. Okay, so I'm almost finished wrapping it. Had just barely enough with this black mesh. So I know there's some spots where it's kind of tight, so I can just slide it over a little bit like that, and actually that really helps. And I'm actually going to end right here. So I'm just going to turn it around. This is the back side, and then we'll just add glue here so this can be glued down. Actually, I need a little bit more glue, but you get the idea. We're going to do that. Okay, so then we let that dry, and we're going to go ahead and put in our next ribbon, and that's where I'm going to be using this beautiful purple. I'm going to go ahead and start it at the same spot where I did the other one. And when you start it, don't put it like really straight, kind of angle it a little bit, because as you're wrapping it around, it kind of goes in an angle. So you want to do that. And you don't have to wrap it up obviously as tight as the other one. Also, it does look pretty if it gets a little wrinkled, so don't worry about it wrinkling up on you. Of course, I have to wait till this actually catches there. I'm going to skip actually a little bit and do the next, and I kind of do like it to be a little bit crinkled. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to wrap it like real tight on itself, but rather kind of separate it a little bit, because I do like the way this black looks through. So I'll do that all the way around, hopefully kind of meet up at a good point where there's not like a really big space. If not, I can just slide my ribbon over and adjust that. So let me go ahead and get all the way around, and when I get over here before I finish, I will come back so you can see how that happens or how it ends. Now we're just going to cut it right here. Get that right there. We'll cut it right here. And like I said, when I was wrapping it around, I was letting it, you know, kind of fold up a little bit, you know, get kind of crinkly. And I really like that look. It's up to you if you want to do that. Maybe you would rather have your, you know, the ribbon all the way spread out. So now we're just going to let that dry. And I'm going to imagine what I want to do. So I want to put my little skeleton here like she's sitting, or he's sitting, however, whatever you imagine. I'm imagining her. So I'm going to put her like she's sitting right on here. And then there'll be some flowers here. So this little black spot here, I'm actually going to just make sure that it's somewhere around here at the bottom. Not too high. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut some pieces of wire ahead of time. Just maybe 2 or 3 for now. They're kind of long, but I want to make sure it goes all the way around the wreath. Okay, so I kind of want her to be, and I'm saying her because my skeleton is a her. I want her to be kind of like that. So, yeah, right here. So I'm going to go ahead and prop up this part of her body on here. So I'm going to go ahead and get my wire, bring it all the way around. See, they were just fine, the length that I did it, because it's just enough to go around and wire her down. But I'm also going to use hot glue, and I'm just tucking the ends of the wire right here where I twist them. I'm just sticking them into the mesh and ribbon, and as you can see, look at that. That looks like a good position. Let's get her arm out of the way here. I'm going to put some glue right here under her hip. Okay, I think I'm going to put her more like this, because I was thinking of putting it like really high, but then that looks kind of rude for a girl to be sitting like that. Is it rude for a girl to sit like that? Or is it just my old mind thinking that way? I'm going to have her like this. Okay, I'm going to put her leg right there. So I'm going to actually get another piece of wire. And I'm actually going to put glue in that little joint because I don't want that to move. Okay, first wire it down and twist it, and then, you know, bend her bone the way that I want it to bend, and put some glue there. I'm gonna put some glue right between the joints there as well. And then her foot, I don't want it to move either. I want it to stay facing forward, so I'm gonna glue that. Okay, I want her to be holding from behind like that. All right, so we'll worry about this arm later. And then her head, I do want her facing forward, so I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on the hinge here, a little connection, and then just turn her face facing, you know, forward or wherever I want it to face, and then a little glue so she stays like that. All right, so now let's make a pretty bow. All right, so I have more of that of this sheer ribbon right here, about 2 rolls. And then I went through my stash and I dug this one out. I think this is from the Dollar Tree, also maybe from last year or the year before. I don't remember. So I'll use that. And this one, I believe I grabbed it from Hobby Lobby. Yeah, I talk a lot, you guys. But I'm pretending that you guys are standing in front of me. You're right here with me. So I'm talking to you. Anyway, so we're going to do this ribbon, and this ribbon for bows. But usually what I do is I grab all the ribbons and I do all the bows all at the same time, but I'm going to do them separately. So let's go ahead and do one at a time. Let me get some chenille stems to tie them up. Okay, so we're just going to do, I have this here for a nice little tail. So I'm just going to start doing the loops. I'm just going to pinch it, make a loop like that, pinch it and twist. Make another loop, bring out together, make sure they're the same size, pinch and twist, always having the pretty side or the right side on the outside of my loop. I don't want it inside. I can feel this, and I can feel that that's the inside because it's smooth. The outside's the part that has the glitter. Okay, This one kind of twisted on its own for me. So I'm going to do 6 loops all together, so 3 and 3. Once you do these first 2 loops and you put them down like that, then you use those top loops to guide you to the size of these other loops. Okay, when it's sheer ribbon, it's always a little bit harder because the wire tends to want to do this. So it's a little harder to handle, so you'll notice that. But that's just your sheer ribbon. That's how it works. Okay, I'm just going to trim it short because I don't need a tail on here. And then just grab my tail, put it in there, put my chenille stem, and just wrap it all up. And I twist the bow because I like it to tighten this way, not these, because we want the bow to be what's tight. We don't need these to twist to each other because we're going to use these 2 loose ends to wrap around the wreath. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with the other ribbons, except that I don't think I'm going to add any little tails. So I'll use this ribbon and this one as well to make a bow. All right, so I'm back and I've made my 3 bows. You saw me make this one, and then this one was just the 6 loops, and this one I just did 4 loops. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take this one, and she's going to be right here. So I'm just going to wrap it and tie it at the back, and then just tuck in all these ends here of the chenille. Bring down the tails. I'm actually going to trim the ends here of the tail a little bit because I feel like they're too long. Or maybe I can, yeah, let's leave them alone for now. But let's go ahead and do the little dovetails like that. And then I'll decide if I need to trim them once I put the other bows on. Okay, let's do that. Okay, she's going to be puffed up here. Now, when you have a sheer ribbon, because of the wire, it tends to push in like that. So you want to make sure that you kind of like pull the wire at the bottom, like separate it like that. And that helps to keep the loops open like that. Okay, and then also kind of like bring them out and then kind of like bend a little bit right here so that your loop stays like that rather than folding up like that. Okay, so just pull them at the bottom and then just kind of push them down and bend. I'm going to end up fixing this again because once I put another ribbon or another bow in here or tuck flowers or whatever, I'll probably squish them so you can just fix them up again later. Right now, your concern would be to just try to poof it up just so you can see how much space your bow is taking. Okay, so that's how much space. And I had already decided that I wanted to put this one under here, kind of like under her leg here. Or maybe her leg will be right between there. Okay, so this one, because I didn't use a long stem, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to roll it up in there just like that. And then just put tons of glue right here. And then just glue it down. And wait till it's dry. Once it's dry, you can move around, you know, your loops and poof them up. I'm going to do the same with this one. The ends here, just kind of curl them down like that. Glue here or glue where you're going to stick it and then put it down in there. And that's what I'm going to do, put it right next to it like that. All right, everyone, so this is done. The bows are already dry on there, the 2 that I glued on there. And then I decided to just let the little tails just kind of stick out, one this way and the other one downward, because she does have this little leg coming down, and I didn't want it to just be a stick, you know, sticking out of the whole wreath, you know, so I did let the ribbon fall kind of like with her leg. Okay, that sort of just kind of frames that. Now we're going to put some flowers on it, and I have got some picks here that I got from the Dollar Tree. I got 2 of this one. It's really pretty black flowers with some glitter on them. 2 of those, like I said, this is from their Halloween. This is from fall, little hydrangeas, and I got 2 picks as well. And these I'm just going to separate them and trim them at their longest point because I don't know how long I'm going to need them. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and trim them. I'll push up the greenery. I'll take the tag off, of course. So I'll go ahead and do that, prep everything. on these as well. I'm just gonna trim them off at their longest point because I want to spread them out maybe between the hydrangeas. Okay, so I've already cut all these up, and I'm just gonna start arranging them on my little wreath here. I want a little cascade of flowers coming out this way and a little bit up that way, and that'll help also to hide this wire that I used to tie down the leg here. So I've cut the pieces out, so I'm just going to fold them like that because I want my flowers facing upward, so then I can use this whole bit here. Then you can cut them shorter, you don't need to have them that long, but I'll go ahead and use that length and put some glue on there, slide it, place it where you want, and then I'll grab from the hydrangeas. And I decided that I didn't want the green, I don't want to use these green leaves, so I'm going to be removing them. So I have this one, and I'm going to go ahead and trim this stem because, again, we don't need them to be that long. I've decided that we don't need a long stick, but I'm going to cut them as I need them. I'm not going to cut them all because if I don't use them all, I don't want to end up with a bunch of short ones and then I can't use them for a little arrangement or something. Okay, more glue, just like that. And then just tuck it where you want. Always bending it so that the flowers are facing upward. Okay? So we're just going to keep adding flowers. I'm going to do the same flower bundle that I just did right here for this top part over here. So again, I've bent it. Is this in the camera? Here we go. Glue on the stem. Slide it in there. Removing the green. I don't want the green. Trimming that. I feel like I just did that other part off camera, so I'm repeating this. Okay? Now, some of you are pros at this, so you don't need me to repeat things, but I can't assume everybody knows what I'm talking about, so that's why I talk. Okay. All right. And then we'll push this one back behind this right here. That looks so pretty. There we go, so you can see it up close. And then the other side here. Okay, so let's add those roses. And obviously I'm using the greenery, which happens to be black in this case. Let's push this back. I can see that it's not in camera view. There we go. And then just bend it a little bit. Glue. Tuck it right here to make it a little taller. Direct those leaves so they're not covering the face of my little skeleton girl. I'm going to go ahead and trim another little piece of the same hydrangea. Bend it. Glue, and I'm going to stick it right next to the other one just to fill in right here very nicely. Like that. Okay, so I'm just going to continue putting flowers wherever I want. I don't have very much left. I do have another rose. So let's go ahead and put it on the other side. And it doesn't have to be in the exact pattern. I can change the pattern however I want. Okay, I don't like this black leaf sticking out so far, so I'm going to cut it right there. And then just put glue on it. And just glue it down right in here so she's not up here because I feel like it was covering her face. I'm going to add one more of these. And I used two bundles and I've got these two stems left over. So just so you know how much I used, I did pretty much using both bushes of the hydrangea, and I'm definitely using the black pick that I also purchased, and I purchased two of those. Okay, so now we have the little skulls here. I'm thinking that I don't even have to have it on the pick. I'm just going to grab it like that. Do I need to put it in there? Because I feel like I'm only going to use one, you guys. I think I'm going to put it on this other side only because I already have her face, you know, the skull, so I don't need another one there. So I'm just going to put some glue on the back of it like this. I think right like that now, facing the right way. And then these little picks, I'm going to trim it really short. I'll put one coming out of the back behind that skull. Okay, so then I'll just grab the other little pick that I still have and put it over here somewhere. All right, there's one more thing that I want to do, and I could have done this before, you know, doing the whole wreath, and that is to add some glitter to my little skeleton. Oh, and by the way, the two little picks that I had of, the two little stems that I still had left of the hydrangea, I went ahead and I just stuck them in there, and then one of them I cut them really short and I stuck them on her little skull. Anyway, so I want to take some Mod Podge and put some on her and then sprinkle her with a little bit of glitter. Now the reason that I didn't do it at the very beginning, or like before I put her on there, is because I didn't want to be, I was going to be handling her, tying her down, or gluing her. I didn't know exactly what position I was going to decide to put her in, and that was going to make a lot of that glitter fall off. So I'm doing it afterwards, and not only that, but I don't have to waste glitter, like, you know, in some spots that you don't even see. So I'm just going to grab some Mod Podge. Just pour a little bit on the, or just like an Elmer's glue. You don't have to use Mod Podge. This is just what I happen to have that was easier to grab. And I'm just going to just brush her. I don't have to completely cover her. Just wherever I can, just put some of this on there and on, you know, like on her arms, for example. Okay, so now I'm just going to get my glitter, but I'm not going to pour it like straight out of my little can or the little canister, because I don't want it everywhere. I don't want like blotches of it. So I'm just going to sprinkle it with my fingers, like just like that. All right, let's do it on the other one. And of course, I'll show you once this is all dry. And I believe our wreath is finished. We can add a little loop of chenille stem on the back at the top, make a little loop so we can hang it from somewhere, or just hang it off of a wreath hanger as it is and don't have to add anything. And there she is, all ready. She is so ready to party for this Halloween, looking beautiful in her different shades of purple. This is lovely. I really enjoy it. I'm not a big Halloween person, at least I wasn't before, but I'm kind of getting into it a little bit, and I'm really proud of this. I think it looks really good. So I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up and leave a kind comment down below and let me know what you think of my project. All right, everyone, if you're enjoying my content, please subscribe. So hit that red subscribe button, and then you'll see the little notification bell. You want to click on that too, and choose all so that you can notified of all of my videos as soon as I upload them. Also, please share on your social medias, you guys. And as always, enjoy.